It's time to sip that coffee, get your mind right, and vibe with the queen herself. We're dishing out hot topics, wellness tips of the day, and things that make you go, Let's get this palace party started.
All right. And just like that, we are back, everybody. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And happy Monday to you. Happy Monday to you. This is the beginning of a fresh work week. So I hope everybody is ready to go. I hope you got your mind right. I hope you know, just as a reminder. And if you don't know, now you know, you choose how you show up in the workplace. Okay. You choose if today is going to be a peaceful day. So it's all on you. We don't give power away to difficult employees, difficult personalities. If you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, get your ass back in the bed and get up on the right side, okay? This is your fresh start. Leave last week behind. It ain't got nothing to do with today. We are moving forward. And man, talking about things that make you go, boy, we got some things to say. Because when I tell you the people are hot, 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 folks are mad. Folks are mad. And I want to ask you something. Are we doing too much? Is this that big of a deal? Have we gotten to a place in society where we are starting to make it a point to make other people's business our business? I just want to know where everybody is. I saw a couple of comments. Daryl Long said, "Hey, listen, Chilli, it's too late. Let me put it up there. Y'all are coming in hot this morning." I said, "Baby, they must have some damn good coffee. They're coming in hot." He says, "I am done with Chilli. That little apology ain't fixed nothing." Well, I mean, geez Louise. Has Chilli's donation impacted your life like that? Are we doing too much? Or is the Chilli Trump drama being blown out of proportion? I don't know. That's why we're here to talk today, because fans are calling out TLC's Chilli after reports linked her to donations to Donald Trump's campaign. But she said, "Hey, listen, it ain't what you think it is. This is all a mistake." I want to know. I want to know what your thoughts are. Did you do your research? Did you do your research? Or do you just kind of take in what people are putting out there? I did my research because I need to know. And I went and I clicked the link and I looked up some of the organizations that she donated to. And I said, now I can see how things can be misconstrued from both sides. Let me ask you this before we get into it. I'm going somewhere with this. Welcome, Uda on the go, all the way from New York. We appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. Welcome, Uda. Yes. Uda says, "Good day, Queen," in the chat. Good day to you. Good day to you. Go get a cup of coffee, everybody. Get a cup of coffee, Coca-Cola, whatever you're going to drink, because this just might be a hot conversation. And depending on the flow, I may go ahead and open up the lines because I got to know. Are we doing too much? But before I get into it, let me ask you this. Are you a Coke or are you a Pepsi kind of person? If you had to choose, watch this. I'm going somewhere. Trust me. If you had to choose Coke or Pepsi, which one are you going with? Which one are you going with? I'll wait. I'm going to just call out a few. Watch this. I'm going somewhere with this. Coke or Pepsi? Let's see what y'all are saying. You're saying, uh-oh, what are we doing? What are we doing? Let's see. Let's see. I got Coke. Okay. I see a Coke. I see a lot of Coke. I see I see Pepsi. I see Pepsi. Okay. I see Coke. I see Coke. Watch this. Keep following me. Are you 7-Up or Sprite? 7 Up or Sprite? Let's see what y'all are saying. Okay, we got water. Now look, we got Sprite, we got 7 Up, we got Pepsi. Okay, we got Sprite, 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 Sprite. Okay. Let me say this. Would you go Perrier or Topo Chico? My Texas people know what I'm talking about. Perrier or Topo Chico? Do we have Perrier when it comes to mineral water, sparkling water? Would you go Topo Chico or Perrier? E Boogie say I'm going Topo Chico. Okay, Trisha says I'm going Perrier. Okay, is it Caitlin? Caitlin, okay, watch this. How many of you were aware that Coke owns Topo Chico? Coca-Cola owns Topo Chico. But how is Topo Chico presented? It's presented as a Mexican water. And if you don't know what you don't know, you would have no idea that Coca-Cola owns it because you think you're buying water from Mexico. Right? You would think you're buying water from Mexico. The point I'm trying to make, folks, is Chilli donated to an organization, according to her, that she had no idea that fell under the Trump umbrella. Hold on. I asked you. That's why I ask, are we doing too much? Did you do research? When you heard about it, did you go say, let me check out these organizations? Let me see what the hell is going on. Because a lot of you drink products and you think you're supporting different organizations, and child, Coca-Cola owns it. Coca-Cola owns it. I'm just using it as an example. That's it. That's all. Look, I don't have a dog in this fight. Are those sodas? They own sodas. They own water lines. They own brands of water. Hold on. Watch this. They own brands of water. They own a lot of products. They own Smart Water, Dasani. They own Topo Chico. They own Sprite, Dr. Pepper, Seal, Ciel. It's popular in Mexico. Aloha, it's a water brand sold in Japan. Kinley, available in Europe and Asia. Vitamin Water. All of this is owned by Coca-Cola. And unless you know, you don't know. And that's, you said, do people do due diligence when doing donations? Why? So let me ask you this. Are we doing too much now? Are we attempting to control the vote? Are we attempting to control the vote? Have we gotten too involved with people's personal lives? And what level of freedom are Black people allowed to have without being attacked? These are all questions. See, we'd have moved the goalposts if you ask me, the Somali queen. We've gone from, hey, listen, she donated, to did she do her homework? Well, I mean, hold on now. Are we out of pocket? Are we out of line? Can she not have the freedom? Or does she fall under a certain restrictive fly zone because of her skin tone? I'm just asking. These are merely questions. And have you asked yourself, for those of you that are disappointed, why are you disappointed? I'm just curious. Why are you disappointed? Have you been able to connect the dots on that? Why are you disappointed? You said Chilli has said multiple times she isn't Black, though. So has Cardi B. There's darker. I mean, maybe she's not Black. Maybe she's a different race, but falls in. Maybe she has the darker skin tone, but really qualifies for a different category. Is it offensive? Is it offensive? You have Puerto Ricans that are dark skinned that'll tell you, I'm Puerto Rican. You have Dominicans. Have we become so sensitive over the course of the last few years that we are just doing way too much. Faith loves an Indian. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. When have we become so sensitive? And I'm not saying she's right or wrong, right? I mean, I scratch my head on a couple of things with Chilli, but I'm asking you, when have we become so involved in each other's personal business? Are we overstepping boundaries when it comes to people's political beliefs, religious beliefs, how they vote, and all of that? Because I'm gonna say this. You have men, black men that have done way worse than she has. They perform at Trump's inauguration. And a lot of you have shown them grace. And if the truth be told, I mean, let's pull up the receipts. Let's just check it out first. Let's see what she's under fire for. We're gonna get into it. I just wanted to see where everybody's head is, to see if we're split, if we're all on the same page. Do you care? Is it that important to you? Here we go. Let me know when you can see my screen. So, where do I want to start with this? There's a lot of places I can start. Let me start here. Hold on. I'm going to skip her. Give me 1 second. That's not the one I want to. So Chilli eventually responded to the backlash that she received after allegedly sharing not only a negative post about Michelle Obama, but she stated, "Listen, I have the utmost respect for Michelle, and I would never say or do anything that is disrespectful to her." If there's somebody in the chat that could send me her response to the campaign donations, I would like to start with that. So FEC records. Okay, look at this. Let me back up. I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. Do you find it suspicious that now that TLC is scheduled to go on tour with the likes of En Vogue and Salt and Pepper, that all of a sudden someone has leaked her private financial information? Is that okay? Now, TLC, Salt and Pepper, and En Vogue announced their first ever co-headlining tour. And all of a sudden, Chilli is catching this smoke after FEC records reportedly show that she donated to President Trump's organizations and campaign. She donated nearly $1,000 in donations to his campaign and other Trump Republican linked funding groups in 2024. Y'all, stop the crap. $1,000 won't put a dent in anything. Why are we mad? And I'm going to show you the breakout, how they spiked it out, where her donations went to. $1,000 over. I mean, this was broken up in like 15 increment payouts to different organizations. $81 here, $42 there, $100 there. Are y'all really that invested? You said the money isn't the point. What's the point? I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I like to kind of massage the dialogue to really see, right? To make sure that we're all thinking and we're operating from an independent stand. What's the point? What's the point? And I'll see what y'all have to say in just a second. So there's a screenshot and there's a list that shows how much she donated a handful of times. Now, y'all, here's the thing. Well, let me back up. A handful of times, right? I think we have to be careful because we say we don't put money, we don't participate, and whether she's red or blue or independent, do Black people have a right to contribute where they want to contribute, whether it's finances, whether it's their community service time, volunteering their time, or do we have to get approval from the larger group at hand? Now, Chilli allegedly donated $210 $3.60 to win red. That's a Republican campaign donations. Are y'all having or taking up issues, not just Chilli? Are Black people not allowed to be Republicans? And maybe I missed the memo. Maybe I missed a memo. I don't even ask my friends how they vote. I don't talk politics with friends. I don't care how they vote. If I like you, I like you. My neighbors, y'all, got into an argument and stopped being neighbors. They were good friends. And we go to dinner with each other until they found out how each other voted. So, are we attempting to dominate and control each other in ways that could be perceived as unrealistic? Valerie says you don't have to be Black or white to donate to any organizations. It's your business. That's what I'm saying. When did we started to get involved in people's private business, how they donate and how they vote? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I just want you all to think and say, well, damn, what am I mad at? You said, I think it's a difference between being a Republican and MAGA. She's denied being a MAGA. She said, I'm not MAGA. All right. So we're going to spike out how much money she donated to each organization. But I just wanted to level set really quickly and kind of see where everybody is mentally with this thing. According to Meta's news, of the $900 donated, about $800 went to Trump, about $7 went to Senator Ted Cruz of Texas, and $63 went to the National Republican Senatorial Committee, which seeks to keep the GOP in control of Congress. Chilli also recently drew attention after allegedly reposting a debunked conspiracy about Michelle Obama registering to vote as a man in 1994. This post has since been deleted, but sparked serious speculation about her political views. Let's see. All right, here we go. So right here, as you can see, this is Chilli's full name. And this is $340. This first block doesn't give a date. And then right here, we move down October 16, 2024. There's a receipt in the amount of $100, and it looks like the recipient was the Trump National Committee. Okay, so we're talking $440.60. And then this is a list, you all, a bigger list. And although you can't see it, I'm going to tell you what's here. I'm going to read it off to you, and then we can work our way. Here we go. Give me 1 second. I think this is it. Okay. So the first line, the first 4 lines, she donated to Win Red. Win Red, okay. And she donated $3.50, $31.50, $31.50, and $3.50. So a total amount of donations to Win Red, we're talking 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times. She donated to Trump National Committee 3 times, and then she donated to Never Surrendered Incorporated 7 times. What does this mean? Okay, so I would assume donating to Win Red would be that she's a Republican. How many of you take up issue with that? We can just start with the basic. We can start with the basics. I would assume from those donations that you're a Republican. I don't take up issue with that. I don't have a problem how people choose to vote, which is why I don't talk about it with them so that they don't piss me off. I don't need to know. Destination Sunrise, thank you for the 5-piece and a pepper. You said double standards. People still going up for the Nelly and Ashante show after Nelly showed his hand. But hey, this is the world we live in. This is the world we live in. So we can assume that she, based on her contribution to Win Red, she's a Republican. Let's start there, right? Someone said earlier, there's a difference between being a Republican and a MAGA. Okay, let's see if we can find our way to MAGA. So then she donated 7 times to Never Surrender Incorporated. What is that? What is Never Surrender Incorporated? It's a registered political leadership. Hold on, I'm sorry. It's a political leadership, nonprofit or whatever, or group to help people living with ALS. Do we take up issue with that? The affiliation is linked to Donald Trump's 2024 presidential campaign, often acting as a key fundraising entity for his political interests. Let me ask you something. Is there a possibility she didn't know, or did she know? As a Republican, hey, are you saying she knew this was attached to Donald Trump? Or hey, you know what? Maybe she didn't know. Maybe she didn't know. Maybe she thought she was donating to an ALS cause and didn't know that this is linked to Donald Trump's 2024 presidential campaign. So this group, it acts as a primary fundraising group focusing on soliciting donations and supporting Republican efforts. I'm going to give her this one. It's like some of you drink Topo Chico and didn't know Coke owned it. I'm going to give her this one. Cowboy said she knew. I'm going to go with you, same OT. She probably didn't know. I'm just going to give the benefit of the doubt. They say always leave with the benefit of the doubt so that you don't make an ass out of yourself. When Red, she definitely knew. ALS, maybe, maybe not. Trump, National Committee, she definitely knew. But we're still at the point where we haven't slid or transitioned into her being MAGA. We're simply looking at a Black woman who's a Republican. Are you following? Do you take up issue there? Now, here's where it gets interesting for me, or to me. The repost regarding the controversy of Michelle Obama registering to vote as a man in 1994, according to Illinois State Board of Elections. That is where I said, okay, Chilli, hold on. How do you repost something that you didn't, or you're not aware that you reposted? Does that happen often on Instagram? Let's hear what she had to say regarding the repost about Michelle Obama registering to vote as a man. And then we're going to jump into the part regarding her overall campaign donations to the Trump administration.
I wanted to come on here to address a few things that's circulating on the internet that's very concerning to me. Let me say this first. I have the utmost respect and admiration for Michelle Obama, and I would never say or do anything that is disrespectful to her or to any woman. I would never do that. And I had no clue that this repost had happened until I started getting phone calls and text messages from everybody, and I immediately went to my page to see what was going on. Now, mind you, I'm not very computer savvy, so I'm looking for this repost button, and I see that all of these buttons are very, very close to each other. And clearly I was scrolling and my thumb hit the repost button. Again, I had no clue that something like this happened until I got all the calls. But of course, I took that down, and you know, I would never post anything like that. I would never do something like that. That is not my character. Um, I have supported the Obamas. I gave to the campaign, both runs, voted twice for him, and supported the organization that Michelle had in the schools for exercise for the kids.
Okay, so I was on mute. What I was saying is, and I paused it, I said, I don't know, Chilli. I want to believe it, but I don't know that the repost button was so close to something that you made a mistake. She sounds convincing. Very convincing. It could be PR training, but I don't know if I believe that you accidentally reposted something because two buttons were together. I'm challenged with technology. I don't think I've accidentally reposted anything on Instagram. So that one, I'm looking at you sideways.
I would never do anything that's harmful or hateful to anybody. You know, I'm just not wired like that. That's just not who I am. And when it comes to organizations that I have donated to, these are the things that support the veterans. You know, I have always supported them, not just now, but for years. This is not something new. So I just wanted to let you guys know, you know, this from me, you know, that I would never do anything so disrespectful. And I would just never, I'm just not about hate or anything like that. You know, if you look on my page and see my posts, it's all about love, faith, and connection. That's what I'm all about, you know, and I've always been that way, and I will continue to be just that way. So I just want to thank you guys for, you know, your love and your support, and just taking the time to listen to me right now. I really, really appreciate that. And I love you guys. Thank you so much.
I don't know if I believe the part about the accidental repost. I don't. Um, Let me just say, I don't believe that part. When I first read it, I don't believe it. So I'm going to leave that there. I do believe she's a Republican. I do believe she was intentional on supporting the Trump campaign. The ALS donation, she probably thought, I'm going to just give her the benefit of the doubt. She probably thought, I'm giving to ALS, not knowing that Trump owns that organization. The win red, I think, is pretty straightforward. Okay. The Michelle Obama thing, a lot of Republicans have said that it's an insult to her. I think you reposted it for whatever reason. Do I think she's a hateful individual? I don't know if I would go that far. What are your thoughts? Same OT says, I think her views may have changed over time. This is coming out now, potentially can impact a tour. And this happened, what, 2 years ago? Trish, I like this. I think you're going somewhere. You said we need to normalize being a Democrat or a Republican. It's crazy work to think Black people shouldn't be Republicans. I agree. I agree. Now let's see what she had to say regarding her campaign donations to Trump. I think this is going to be an interesting one. I didn't listen to it on purpose because I like to give a real reaction in real time with all of us together. So let's take a look at that. All right, here we go. Thank you for your patience. It's buffering. It's coming.
Hey guys, I wanted to come on here to address a few things that's circulating on the internet that's very concerning to me. Let me say this first. I have the utmost respect and
We're going to skip
admiration
through
for
that.
getting phone calls and text messages from everybody, and I was scrolling and my thumb hit the repost button. Again, I had no clue that something like this happened until I got all the calls.
I'm gonna call you out on this one because if you had no idea, and I want to be fair, if you had no idea that you reposted it, how can you recall that your thumb hit it? And I know I'm being petty, but that's a lot of detail to know that your thumb hit something that you weren't even aware that you posted.
But of course, I took that down, and like that. That is not my character. I have supported the Obamas. I gave to the campaign, both runs, voted twice for him, and supported the organization that Michelle had in the schools for exercise for the kids. I would never do anything that's harmful or hateful to anybody. I'm just not wired like that. That's just not who I am. And when it comes to organizations that I have donated to, these are the things that support the veterans. I have always supported them, not just now, but for years. This is not something new. So I just wanted to let you guys know, this from me, that I would never do anything so disrespectful. And I would just never, I'm just, it's not about hate or anything like that. If you look on my page and see my posts, it's all about love, faith, and connection. That's what I'm all about, and I've always been that way, and I will continue to be just that way. So I just want to thank you guys for, your love and your support, and just taking the time to listen to me right now. I really, really appreciate that. And I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Now, here's my thing, and I probably shouldn't have a thing. Um, the 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 FEC records show where Chilli donated, and it doesn't show any veteran organizations. We do see ALS, but we don't see anything directly tied to veterans. Now, I feel foolish for even refuting what she said. I probably wouldn't give no damn explanation. I would come out like it ain't none of y'all's damn business. I wouldn't have even responded to y'all, to be honest with you. She has a right to vote the way she wants to vote. She has a right to contribute campaign donations where she wants to contribute. She has a right to support different organizations, whether it's physical activity for children, whether it's ALS support, hell, whether it's Win Red. But I don't see anything that I can connect the dots to where the fundraising and the campaign, all of the profits that they collect for Win Red goes directly to veterans. I didn't see that. Now I want to, people had some very strong reactions regarding this. Let's take a look.
Hey, y'all. So I've been seeing the discourse that's been floating around on Threads and other sites where people are like, TLC is MAGA, right? And then there's some that are confused thinking we're talking about TLC, the Learning Channel. And no, it's TLC, the group. And this stems from this post right here that Chilli from TLC reposted, where it states that Michelle Obama registered to vote as a man. So spewing that propaganda that we know, this racist rhetoric that Michelle Obama is a man. And Chilli reposted this, and it was up on her page as of just a few weeks ago. Okay. So this was there, and she meant for it to be there. And I'm confused as to why all of y'all are confused that she might possibly be MAGA, because just 2 years ago, February 2024, this woman got mad at someone that made a comment that she was chocolate. So it was a video of her dancing with her boyfriend, Matthew Lawrence. And the woman was like, "Ooh, look at her chocolate self go." And this woman actually got mad and said caramel, not chocolate.
Now I'm gonna have to, now look, now we reaching. I do believe she reposted the Michelle Obama thing on purpose. I don't think she has identity issues. I'm not going to do that. Because listen, if men can identify how they want to identify, then a woman can identify how she wants to identify. Bruce Jenner is Caitlyn Jenner. So we're not going to say she has identity issues because we want her to say and do a particular thing, because we have a way of thinking that if you're a Black woman, you should behave this way. We live in a completely different world, child. People can identify how they want to identify. If the girl says, I'm caramel and not chocolate, all right. I don't think she was mad. We have to make sure we're not projecting. I think she just said, I'm caramel, not chocolate, but not because I don't want to go that far and start to make up things and say, well, she has identity issues. If that's the case, Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem if that's the case. Because people are free to move freely. I mean, that's your belief. What do you want her to identify with? What has she? You said, I do think she has identity issues. What is she not claiming that she should be? How do you feel? What is it that you're wanting her to do that she's not doing as classifying herself? And that's where I say, y'all got to be careful, because we be doing too much. We be doing too much. Now we getting all up in people's how they identify. If she don't feel like she chocolate, she ain't chocolate. It ain't gonna change my day. I think we're being a little petty with the chocolate versus caramel. I understand where y'all are coming from, but I can't say she was mad when she said it. I don't think she cursed the woman out behind it. But let's continue.
And the woman was like, Chilli don't think she's chocolate. That's odd. Chocolate is beautiful. She then came back with a whole quip about, I'm not saying chocolate's not beautiful, but I'm caramel. And basically stated that when she doesn't have any sun, she's caramel complected. Ma'am, every time we've seen you from the 90s till now, you ain't never been caramel. Never. We never looked at you in the group as the caramel one. Stop the madness. So this is why it's like y'all are shocked that she's MAGA. I'm not, because her whole page is Bible verses, Christian nationalist rhetoric.
What's wrong with that? I now believe we're overstepping. I mean, if she wants to be a Christian, let her be a Christian. If she wants to be chocolate, let her be chocolate. Y'all got to be careful. You're slipping into a danger zone. You're slipping into a danger zone. You're entering the book of Revelations, that we're becoming desynthesized. I hope I'm saying it right. And now if she's a Christian, she's a Christian. I think we're overstepping a little bit, just a little bit, when we start to infringe on people's right to believe or not to believe. But okay.
Colorism. What's next? And then you have the one stating, well, it's not T-Boz, it's just Chilli. Okay, I don't know what T-Boz's situation is, but I will say this. We are consistently telling women that are married to MAGA people or that are in relationship and family with MAGA people, if you are still fraternizing with MAGA, you're complicit.
Well, here's the thing. She hasn't identified herself as MAGA. I listen, I'll take you at face value. If you say I'm just a Republican, now don't put me in that category. Do we still say I don't believe you and you're going to be MAGA because I said it? Do you all believe she's MAGA? And if so, based on what? Is it because her contributions to the campaign? Is it because it's win red? Now, we don't have no proof of how she voted, because she did say out of her own mouth that I voted for Obama twice. Most people that do or have would probably be Democratic. I know that. Okay, Miss Cassie said, Queen, being a Christian and Christian nationalist are two different things, but who gets to determine who is what, right? Because we're saying she's MAGA. We don't know that. She said, I voted for Obama twice, but she has donated to win red. Maybe she jumps back and forth based on who's running for president. She said, I've donated to their campaign. I've donated to Michelle's organization. Is that possible? Or once we make up our mind, I understand what y'all are saying, but why are you saying she's a Christian nationalist when she's not? Why are people saying, I'm like, until somebody comes out and wears something and takes on that ideology, I wouldn't feel comfortable labeling somebody as something that I don't know if they are. She just said, y'all, that's why I played her response. She said, I am not hateful. I don't support hate. I support a lot of organizations. Is that good enough? That's the question. Now, Nicki Minaj, we know it, but you know why we know? Because it came out of her mouth. So I'm saying, is her response good enough for you to back up and say, okay, I hear you. I still don't like it. And I think that you are a Republican. I'm going to just leave it there. But you spoke on it and I have to take you at face value. Okay, some of you are saying, no, that's not good enough. I don't like it. This is what some of you are saying, I don't like it. I don't like what's on your page. To hell with you. Is that where you are? All right, let's continue.
So we can't sit up here now, Black folks, and be like, well, not T-Boz, because we want to hold certain people close to us. Because if she's still doing music and entertaining with this chick who we know they just released a whole concert, then clearly she is complicit in this person's MAGA-ism. She is complicit with helping this MAGA continue to get money. You can't have it both ways. If she's still working with her and she ain't denounced the MAGA-ness, then she's still working to help a MAGA make money. And it's sad because as much sickle cell research as Donald Trump has eliminated, you would think that they're that close. Chilli, you wouldn't be supporting somebody that's getting rid of research that affects someone so close to you. But as I said before, these people will show you who they really are. Believe them.
All right, that's her take. And I like to just put different viewpoints on the screen so that, listen, we can learn from everybody. Here's another creator. Funky Dineva had a lot to say regarding Chilli's response. Let's take a look.
When the news broke that Chilli from TLC made several financial donations to Donald Trump or Donald Trump causes, you know, I was somewhere looking like a confused dog, right? Because Chilli is one of those people, for the most part, she stays out of the way. We kind of really don't know what's going on with Chilli from day to day. She's relatively private, and I don't think she's on most people's radars. So to be quite honest, I did not have an idea of what her political views were one way or another, nor do I really care. Everyone has the right to support who they want to support, vote who they want to vote for, and donate wherever they want to donate. But what you don't have the right to do is get on the internet and try to play on people's intelligence and then expect them to still buy your concert tickets, right? So, you know, I'm having a hard time right now as a Black man reconciling, do I just blindly go along with Chilli's explanation and apology and, you know, allow that to override my gut and my common sense? Or do I take a step back and do I look at the total picture? And the thing about it is, if you've got two functioning brain cells, there's no way you can overlook the total picture. So, you know, singularly, you repost the Michelle Obama post with her looking like a man. Fine. We can explain that away. Okay. Taken singularly. The campaign contributions, even though they're means, you say you didn't read the fine print. Maybe you didn't. If we take that singularly. But then there is the people who you follow on social media. You follow a lot of people who have that MAGA conservative ideology. And that's the bigger giveaway. That is the bigger giveaway. And it's like, and I think what's most hurtful is you playing in our face. Honestly and truthfully, I think it probably would have been in your best interest just to not say anything. It really would have been in your best interest to not have said anything. And I'm going to tell you, salt and pepper.
I'm gonna say this. She can follow who she want to follow. I think there's a stiffer what do I want to say? I think there's the standards between what men are allowed to do and women are allowed to do. We have strict protocol for women. You have all these rappers, celebrities, ball players that love Donald Trump, and y'all support them. Chilli ain't really gave no damn money. $1,000. Some of these men have given way more. Some of these men have come out and spoke harshly against Black people in support of Trump. Lil Wayne, all of them. And y'all still like a million. Y'all gonna support them until the wheels fall off. This girl, when you start looking up the money, it reminds me of tithes and offering. When you think about real campaign donations, Trump ain't looking at no damn Chilli. And D, I see you said this has nothing to do with gender. To me, it has everything to do with expectations or lack thereof. So either we're against, kind of, it doesn't, but it does. It has to, I'm going to say double standards. She's like, hey, listen, let me start this over because I want to break down what he said. She's unproblematic. So we know she's not out here spewing hate.
Okay, so check it out. When the news broke that Chilli from TLC made several financial donations to Donald Trump or Donald Trump causes, I was somewhere looking like a confused dog, right?
This shouldn't even be a topic, to be honest. She's unproblematic. We're talking $1,000 a few years ago. That's all I'm saying. Somebody that sits in her corner of the world. Is it really that big of a deal? Or are we doing too much? I agree that she's a Republican. I agree that I think you posted it on purpose. And you probably do follow some people that are extreme. But we also have extremists on the left and on the right. I guess the bigger conversation for me is do what you want to do. I'm not that engulfed in people's political views. If you do something I don't like, either I'm going to pay for it or I'm not. Is it worth canceling her? Do Black people expect each other to get in line, not ask any questions? This is what we're doing. You better not go against it. I'm just trying to see what the memo says. That's it. I can do what I want. Don't play with me. Try me. I can do what I want. Don't tell me how to facilitate my conversation. You say, don't please stop both siding. I can both side it. That's called a robust conversation. Don't tell people how to talk. That's what I mean, that domineering spirit. Don't both sides it. Why not? We have people in the chat that are on opposite ends of the coin. You have to both sides it so it can be a fair discussion. You have to talk about both sides of it. Otherwise, it's not representative of everybody that's here today. So some of y'all are saying it's not canceling her, but I'm not spending gotcha. That's fair. I gotcha. That's fair. That's what I'm saying. But let me ask you, based on some of the things we've seen Black men do as it relates to Trump, I love Trump and this and this and that. Is it that serious? She's come out to apologize. Some of the rappers have told y'all, F you. Soulja Boy said, I don't give a damn what y'all think. You ain't putting no money in my pocket. Nelly, all of them. Snoop. I mean, I'm just asking. Or are we harder on women? I don't know. I'm just asking.
Right? Because Chilli is one of those people, for the most part, she stays out of the way. We kind of really don't know what's going on with Chilli from day to day. She's relatively private, and I don't think she's on most people's radars. So to be quite honest, I did not have an idea of what her political views were one way or another, nor do I really care. Everyone has.
Bingo. Nor do I care. We don't need to. We live in a world of information where everything's at our fingertips. I think we've crossed a lot of boundaries when it comes to people's personal belief and personal decisions. I think there should be a cutoff where you would have to ask yourself when it comes. You would have to put yourself in this position, right, and say, "Ooh, if y'all were able to see my campaign donations, I would feel somewhat violated." Would you or would you not? I don't know. But I do think we have unrealistic expectations, not only for Chilli, right? It doesn't matter what we're talking about. In the world that we live in, people now feel like they should have access to you.
Has the right to support who they want to support, vote who they want to vote for, and donate wherever they want to donate. But what you don't have the right to do is get on the internet and try to play on people's intelligence and then expect them to still buy your concert tickets, right? So, I'm having a hard time right now as a Black man reconciling. Do I just blindly go along with Chilli's explanation and apology and, allow that to override my gut and my common sense? Or do I take a step back and do I look at the total picture? And
I mean, were you going to the concert in the first place? I don't really think Funky Dineva cares one way or the other, or the other lady that I played. I don't think either one of them were going to the concert.
the thing about it is, if you've got two functioning brain cells, there's no way you can overlook the total picture. So, singularly, you repost the Michelle Obama post with her looking like a man.
I think she's guilty of that. I don't buy her excuse that she didn't know. I don't buy her excuse that her thumb accidentally hit it. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. I think she's guilty. I think she did it on purpose. I do.
Fine. We can explain that away. Okay? Taken singularly. The campaign contributions, even though they're in the teens, you say you didn't read the fine print. Maybe you didn't. If we take
only for the ALS. I think the Trump National Committee is up front. I think Win Red is up front. I think she's a Republican. I'm only giving a pass on the ALS donation.
Take that singularly. But then there is the people who you follow on social media. You follow a lot of people who have that MAGA conservative ideology. And that's the bigger giveaway.
Well, here's the thing, though, for me. Well, I don't want to say it. I'm not going to say it.
That is the bigger giveaway. And it's like, Chilli, sis, it's not really looking good for you. It's not. And I think what's most hurtful is you playing in our face.
I get it. I just think there's more important things going on in the world now. Had we been talking $1 million that could have really came into a different community and made a dent and made an impact for the positive, this would be a completely different conversation for me. I had to go look at the financials. I said, let me look at the financials first, because I like a well-rounded argument. Let me look at the financials, because if she is out here giving up money that could have went to this and this and this, and baby, when I saw $2 here, $3 there, I said, child, please. Let me devote my time to something that's more important. I'm with you, Tiffany. It's not that serious. Tiffany says, this is not that serious. I don't think we should cancel her out. It's your decision not to support her as well. She's talking to y'all as her decision to support who she wants. That's it. That's all. I think it's that simple. I don't think there was enough money involved for us to be that emotionally tied to what she is and what she ain't doing. And that's how you pick your battles, my friend. I ain't gonna lie. That's how you pick your battles. You got to be like, how much money we talking about? Well, hold on. How much money are we talking about? Did any of you actually look at the campaign donations, or you just read through a blog, she donated, and you got pissed off and didn't do your homework? I'm not saying you should or not, but I think you got to pick your battles. When you start to see, child, you barely could give what you had. You got people in church houses giving. I know somebody said it's the somebody in the chat said it's the point. She barely had it to give. Well, hell, you got people in the church that's getting robbed by their own pastors. You get what I'm saying? So we have to pick our battles. We have to pick our battles. That's why I said, is it that serious? What are we doing? She ain't made a dent in the world on the right side or on the black side. I have to agree. When Funky Dineva says she's in her little corner of the world, she's not on anybody's radar, not even her donations. So what are we really talking about? Destination Sunrise says a Black Republican today is different than a Black Republican 10 years ago. But do they have a right to choose without being harassed? That's what I'm asking. Do you feel that we have overstepped our boundaries when it comes to her? Did we hold the men equally accountable? That's all I'm asking. These are questions. Hold on, give me 1 second. I want to play something from a therapist regarding us as a generation. Let's see if I can get it out to you. Hold on. And she says that we have become weaker as a community. We are emotionally fragile to a point that they haven't seen anything like it before. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it out. My question is, do you agree? And is this one of those examples? If I can. I don't think I'll be able to share it. Hold on. It doesn't seem like oh, wait, I'm going to try one more time. This is a continuation of the conversation. Now we want to get into the thick of it from a psychological perspective. Here we go. But before we do, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about how Chilli came to the point, because some of you say you don't believe she's just a Christian. You believe she's a Christian nationalist. Let's hear a little bit about what she had to say of how she came to her Christianity, or just how Christianity has shaped some of her ideology.
I didn't, before reading the Bible all the way through, really studying, truly studying it, I didn't want to get married. Like, marriage seems like torture and bondage to me. I was like, yo, I don't want to do that. I was like, the same person.
She's like, I want to see him every day. And
Oh
I
my
was like,
gosh.
"No,
I'm telling you, it was just like, it really was scary to me.
Yeah.
And I think it was really scary to me because I still, before reading the word, understood that, you know, God created marriage. So, I mean, it's serious. I took it that serious to not ever, you know, marry during those years of my life. You know what I'm saying? And so, because I was like, because I know I'm gonna get a divorce. I know, you know, I always say that. And I say, if I get married, I'm gonna have my lawyer on speed dial. I would say, and so I'm telling you, I said, and I meant those things with all of my heart and soul.
She was gonna have a PI available.
Yes, and but I was gonna say, hey, are you cool with that? And if he said no, then because he could do it to me, I have nothing to hide. And you know, it'd be a problem. Like, okay, well then he's not. We can't do this.
But
so
I
this
knew
was
that,
all.
yeah.
This was all in my brain, right? So after reading, then I said, okay, Lord, if that's what you want, I want what you want for me. And if that's what you want, I say, you already know how I am. I'm special. I am. I'm a little different. Not like in a bad way. I'm different. And I'm like, so, and I just left it at that. I didn't.
What do y'all think? She said, listen, it wasn't until I went deeper into the world that it reshaped my ideology on traditional marriage. Like some of you in the chat, I didn't believe in all that. I didn't believe in marriage like that. To me, that's bondage. But the Bible changed that. So does this sound like a Christian nationalist to you, or are we doing too much? I'm just saying. Just questions.
For me, it's like your total relationship goals. And I know Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, and he said that they have never had a fight. He and Taylor.
Yeah.
And I remember you told People Magazine, Chilli, that you said the same thing. So, Matthew, I got to know, is the no fight streak still going on? Like y'all never?
Yeah. Yeah.
It is.
We don't fight.
No, we
That's
don't fight.
nice.
We have disagreements.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can disagree on things,
Yeah.
but we don't know. It's like I could never even imagine kind of raising my voice either, which is weird. I mean, I've been in relationships where you do, and you go back. I could never do that. There's too much respect.
I know, and the way my acid reflux is set up, and
well, there's that too.
Yeah, like it needs to be easy.
So when
And
y'all,
it's possible to be that way.
well, that's what I'm about to ask. How the hell is that possible?
It is possible. No, I promise you, it's really possible because when you think about it, you want to talk out your differences.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you don't have to yell at each other to do that. And so, and if I'm upset or he's upset or whatever, then sometimes, okay, you know what, let's talk about this later. So we're not yelling at each other or saying something that we're going to, want to apologize about it, because you hurt their feelings or whatever.
See, I love mature love. This is what I really like about
Definitely
it.
mature. That makes the difference, the wisdom.
But here's the thing, and I'm going to get off of it. But we play games. Like you're telling me on a game night, it's never, no fighting on a game night.
The only time I get a little it's Uno for me.
Oh, it's the Uno.
It's
I knew that was coming.
Do you
It's
slap your
Uno.
cards, girl?
I do draw two,
Okay.
Now, Sherry, I mean, I get it, but we all get a little amped up when playing spades, Uno, or pity pad. You know what I'm saying?
like that. That's as aggressive as I'll get.
Well, I'm going to say, if Uno gets you that way, Matthew, you need to come over on the spades night, you and Chilli.
I don't know how to play spades.
Oh, well, you
I
gonna
need to learn.
learn. I don't want to be your first fight, but we'll keep it calm for you.
So I'm reading in between the lines. Is anybody picking up what Chilli is putting down? Is anybody picking up what Chilli is putting down? I caught what she said without her having to say it. And that's the beautiful thing about comprehension skills, looking at the supporting details. Some people have a problem with Chilli dating a white man. Some people have a problem with Black men dating white women. Okay. Many times people are often more vocal when Black women do it. What she's saying is he's restored her nervous system. She ain't hooting, hollering, fussing, and cussing no more. And this is different for her. This is a different relationship for her. She was able to reset. She doesn't have to raise her voice to be heard. And it is what it is. And that's what I picked up. Now, y'all got to remember, Chilli was in a long-term relationship with Usher. She had a baby by Dallas Austin, her son. She dated Floyd Mayweather. And she's saying this is probably one of the first times, without saying it, I'm paraphrasing, that I'm cool. Crazy, sexy, cool. That's it. That's all. But I wanted to share this take of a therapist who took to social media. And after this, we're going to wrap up. And the therapist said, y'all are out of your minds. Y'all have become the most sensitive generation, and you're being rewarded for being offended. And you're not necessarily emotionally competent and resilient anymore. You're fragile. She's talking to us. Let's take a look. What are your thoughts?
Really sure how it's happened, but I'll give you my take on it, right?
Hold on.
I'm not exactly sure how it's happened, but I'll give you my take on it, right? We've never talked about mental health more before, yet somehow we've become weaker because instead of building emotional strength, we've built a culture that rewards emotional fragility. We've made it normal to break down over minor inconveniences. We've convinced people that if something makes them uncomfortable, it must be harmful. We've created a world where feelings aren't just acknowledged, they're treated like the absolute truth. And we know that feelings are not facts. And here's what that looks like in real life. Discomfort is mistaken for danger. If a conversation makes you uneasy, it must be toxic. If a person challenges you, they must be unsafe. If a situation feels hard, it must be harming you. Boundaries are also being used as walls. Instead of learning how to have difficult conversations, we shut people out completely. Instead of addressing issues, we disappear and call it self-preservation, or I'm protecting my peace or my mental health. Struggle is now being labeled as a crisis. We've also blurred the lines between real hardship and normal life challenges. And instead of navigating stress, we call everything overwhelming. Instead of working through difficulties, we assume that we're just burnt out. We protect feelings over growth. And instead of asking, what is this teaching me? We ask, how do I make this stop? Instead of allowing emotions to come and go, we obsess over them like they define us. We've created a mindset where people believe that emotions should be protected instead of processed. Life isn't going to tiptoe around you. The world isn't going to adjust itself to your emotional needs. I'm not exactly.
I have to agree. I see more crash outs now more than ever. And I am starting to see us, not here on YouTube, but on Instagram, us posting in the chat, Black fatigue. Y'all, have we become emotionally sensitive? I've always felt like we were sensitive as a group emotionally. And I said that during the Diddy trial. When I was on Armand Wiggins' page, and boy, when I tell you, y'all read me for filth and turned me every which way but loose that day. But I said what I said. That was over a year ago. Because when I started to what I thought was introduce a little bit of logic to the conversation, people got upset. And I said, hold on. Y'all are too sensitive as a community, that sometimes we can't move the needle on the conversation because people get their feelings hurt and we get so emotional. We are handicapped, not all, but remember, they loop us all into a bucket. And as a group and as a collective, a lot of us are not or haven't been conditioned with navigating through that crap, working through it. We're going to throw hands. You're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to play in my face. And when we see, hear, feel something we don't like, most times, most of us go on attack. We are highly sensitive. I want to play it again.
Sure how it's happened, but I'll give you my take on it, right? We've never talked about mental health more before, yet somehow we've become weaker because instead of building emotional strength, we've built a culture that rewards emotional fragility. We've made it normal to break down over minor inconveniences. We've convinced people that if something makes them uncomfortable, it must be harmful. We've created a world where feelings aren't just acknowledged, they're treated like the absolute truth. And we know
that's fact. We're not even teaching the kids anymore how to work through it. Oh, they must be jealous of you if they don't want to be your friend. No, how about they get a right? They don't have to be your friend. They get a right to choose, and so do you. Maybe it's not a good fit at the job. Maybe it ain't personal. You know, sometimes you can be two right people for a relationship meeting at the wrong time. Maybe that ain't your husband. Maybe that ain't your wife. She don't have to stay with you if she don't want to. He doesn't have to stay with you if he don't want to. You don't got a right because your feelings are hurt to bust out somebody's window. You don't have a right to tear up somebody's store because you felt disrespected. You don't have a right to be all up in people's business.
that feelings are not facts. And here's what that looks like in real life. Discomfort is mistaken for danger. If a conversation makes you uneasy, it must be toxic. If a person
or disrespectful. You're not going to, or disrespectful.
challenges you, they must be unsafe. If a situation feels hard, it must be harming you. Boundaries are also being used as walls. Instead of learning how to have difficult conversations, we shut people out completely. Instead of addressing issues, we disappear and call it self-preservation, or I'm protecting my peace or my mental health. Struggle is now being labeled as a crisis. We've also blurred the lines between real hardship and normal life challenges. And instead of navigating stress, we call everything overwhelming. Instead of working through difficulties, we assume that we're just burnt out.
And you know what I can't stand? Also, we're triggered by everything. But one thing I cannot stand is when I turn on social media and I see people doing bad things. That's why I say, are we doing too much? And we started off the conversation with Chilli from TLC, and we're working our way into just, this is an opportunity for us just to kind of self-assess. We're really good at telling everybody else what to do and pointing out the flaws in everybody else. But rarely do people challenge you to just kind of look at yourself today, whether you're in the office, in the car, working from home. Do you ever ask yourself, why am I bothered? Damn, why do I feel disrespected? Not just they disrespected me or I don't like what she said. Do you ever take it a step further to say, why? Why am I mad at him? Why am I mad at her? And when it comes down to it, most times because you couldn't control something, you couldn't get somebody to do what you wanted them to do. So it becomes less about them and more about you. One thing I cannot stand, and I see it all the time on social media, particularly Instagram, and I see it a lot with us in our community, is when we commit crimes and we do bad things. I'm telling you, they type in the chat, mental health is real. And I'll be like, are you freaking kidding me? That had nothing to do with mental health. He did it. She did it because she wanted to. She did it because he or she is a crash out. They're demonic. They're out of control. No freaking home training. Ain't nobody ever held them accountable. And the first time they have to show up in the world at their big age and take that L, that L that they should have had taken at home if we're really engaged with our kids. And now, because another adult has held you accountable or has broken up with you and say, you're toxic. Now you want to get violent. And we give them a get out of jail free card and say, mental health is real. And it completely neutralized real mental health issues. And people, can I tell you something? I'm gonna be honest with you. What a lot of you don't know, and there's a misconception that people with mental health conditions are violent. They're not. Most of them, a great majority, are not. Let me tell you why. When you look at mental health conditions, many fall into the category of stress, depression, anxiety, socialization, antisocial, feelings of being overwhelmed. They ain't got time to be dealing with nobody. Half of them don't even open up their blinds and let the sun in. They ain't coming outside bothering nobody. They're in bed all day. Most of them are the least of your worries. And to see people exploit mental health to give some vile individuals a get out of jail free card. And I can't say anything because I'm like, child, that's just what they running with. But that ain't got nothing to do with mental health. Because you out here abusing folks, because you out here crashing out in the store, because you out here and you weren't raised right. And somebody put a tablet on your lap instead of engaging with you socially. And because every time you would throw a fit and fall on the floor and cry, you were an embarrassment. They say, here, give it to him, give it to him, give it to her. I get that, Miss Cassie. Then how do you explain away the population of us that do know how to behave? Because not everybody has had therapy. And some people have had traumatic experiences. If that were true, then all of us would be diagnosed with mental illnesses as Black people if we rely on 400 years of slavery. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying, but how do you support? How do you support that argument? Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, how do you support that argument? That's all. And I think this therapist is tired. I think this therapist, what she's saying is, I'm seeing too many of you coming into my damn office making excuses and not wanting to do the work. For a therapist to come out and hold the general population accountable, that means she's hearing some things in that office and coming from that couch. Y'all, this ain't got nothing to do. We're talking. Are y'all listening to the therapist? Y'all keep saying the oppressor's the oppressor's mental health capacity versus the oppressed. Are you oppressed? Let me ask you this, Chris Janjak. Do you consider yourself oppressed? Or are you like I have, y'all? Now we can go there. Not an argument, but a debate. Because on one hand, you can't say he whom the Son has set free is free indeed, and pray about it, and God is going to fix it. And we are free, and no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Either you are oppressed or you're not. Either you're working towards evolving or you're not. Either you are mentally ill or you're not. Either you are choosing life or you're choosing death. Foxy said, I wouldn't go to her if she's actually a therapist. Now ask yourself why. I got you. Thank you, Chris Janjag. You said I was speaking to sociology study. Okay, thank you. All right, let me go back and read that now that we have that information. So she said she's speaking to a study related to sociology, the oppressor's mental health capacity versus the oppressed mental health capacity. Thank you for clarifying. I don't play. Try me. Says, I don't think we're all that way right now. I don't neither. But it just traps my hide when I see bad things being done, and then we excuse it when we say mental health is real. I want to play one more thing that came across my desk, and I was like, I know you lying. A mother. Watch this. I listen. A mother found out. A mother speaks out after her 17-year-old son was sent back, listen to this, from the 12th grade to the 9th grade. And she said she had no idea. She said she had no idea. And this is how we're tying the conversation into everything. Are we taking enough accountability? Is the therapist right? How many excuses can we make? Are we becoming emotionally weak, fragile? Hold on, give me 1 second. I was almost off my rocker when I heard this. How could you not know that your child is not progressing intellectually? Let's hear what she had to say. We're going to switch it up. All right. And then no idea. That's what she said. Here we go.
Yes, and I am too. Like I told him,
be strong, son. But I'm not. How can you not be aware as a primary parent that your son has only, throughout the 4-year duration of being in high school, that your son has only earned 2? Some of these administrators, I believe, and some of these educators are afraid of these children and their parents. When they see that you're not home and you don't have leadership in a home, because ma'am, schools do make mistakes. But if you are checking, so that's why it's a collaboration. It's a partnership. It's not all on them. It starts with you. If you were checking Schools communicate with parents all the time. They send you emails. You have access to the portals to go in and see things that your child can't see. You failed your child. And if they are seeing that there's no login from you, there's no communication, there's no inquiry from you, they can only enforce what you enforce at home and partner with you. And half of these people are scared of these damn kids these days when there's no parental support. She didn't ask about nothing. Cousin Angel, you said, so she didn't ask? No, she did not. 272 times. They took their hands off of him. They took his hand. He was a lot. I'm telling you, they looked at that child as a lost cause. If you listen, schools are there to educate, not to raise kids. They are educators, not magicians. They cannot turn your child's life around. That's not their job. Their job is to introduce a curriculum, give them the tools that they need to be able to grow and evolve. Your job is to enforce it at home. You are right. One way it says, you're absolutely correct. You said if this had been a predominantly white school, these types of mishaps would not have been allowed. No, they would not have been. He would have gotten up to par. He would have been offered tutoring, or he would have been kicked out. I don't even think we would have gotten to the curriculum part. They would have kicked him out for truancy. They would have kicked him out for being late and absent. They would have deferred and or referred him to a, what do y'all call it? Those schools? The schools where you have to go to a different school. Alternative school. They would have put him out. Daryl Long says, question, chat, do you think she was criminally negligent? I think she's negligent. But you heard her at the beginning. She says, I got 3 kids and work 3 jobs. But schools are there to educate, not babysit, and not to raise the kids. You can't put the full responsibility on the kid. But yeah, I agree with you one way, and not because the school is white. They're going to abide by the processes. Okay? Because they get, you receive funding for kids. Schools want to be paid when these kids are passing. So if you have an all-black school, like he said, the administrators failed the kid in some way, but also the parent did too. Check and balance, working hand in hand, partnership. I'm going to catch what you're not catching, or I'm going to make sure that I intercept the communications. They should have kicked him out the school. They should have deferred or referred him to an alternative situation or recommended a GED. Because he's going to have to start. He's 18. They're saying we want to put him back in the 9th grade. So we're talking 18, 19, 20, 21. He'll be 22 years old as a senior when your child is 13 or 14 as a freshman. Are you comfortable with that?
Why I do this work.
Dr. Sonia Santelises was school CEO 4 years ago when France's son was a freshman, but she will not interview with Fox 45 News. Instead, we received this 2-page statement, which explains what should happen when a student is chronically absent or failing. The district says students received a letter about their academic status this past summer, and records can be accessed through the campus portal. When a student is absent, an automated call is placed to the number on file. The statement also said the school conducted recent home visits and the student's parent visited the school. But France says none of that happened.
So she didn't check the portal. They do put in a portal. Hell, my son was late. I caught it. Oh, you late. And then you went past the amount of, they give you a lot of the amount of tardies before they notify the parent. Look, he had burned through that. And baby, by the time I caught it, be late again. Be late again. We ain't never had no more late problems. She didn't check the portal. She wasn't engaged. You say, does she have a support system? I think she do. She says she has 3 kids, so she may have a husband or a partner. Is that what you mean by support?
What this statement does not address is why France's son was promoted despite failing classes. It doesn't discuss his class rank or the 58 other students with a GPA of 0.13 or lower. But it
Child, them people tired. They were just passing them kids. And y'all already know what time it is. Well, why? And Simone, that's a good question. You said his dad isn't checking the portal. Why didn't he catch this too? Exactly. Exactly. Them schools pass those kids to not deal with those parents. It's not right. They didn't want to be bothered with the parents. They just passed them. Get them through.
Be strong.
So, can I assume that if the boy has only earned 2.5 credits in the span of 4 years, that his proficiency level is not up to par? See, they're not going to let him stay in that school based on the laws. I see what you're saying, innocent instigator. You said, but if they don't want to be bothered, they just added 4 more years to dealing with the child, not just the child. You remember the man said that means he was ranked number 62 out of 120. He said that means there's 58 kids under him that has a low. I'm going to get off of here. There's 58 kids under him that has a lower grade than him. That is horrible. That is horrible. And you said this is severely behind for his grade level. There's 58 of them. Actually, 62 of them. Well, really, we don't know because his grade is a 0.53. So we don't even know what the 120th, what the highest GPA is in that school. I think they should shut the school down. I'm done. Shut the school down, disperse the kids out, bust them out to different schools. But it doesn't seem like that school district is making. We can't just be keeping stuff open because it's Black. Listen, we're going to have to get in there. We're going to have to spread the kids out to different school where they can get the help and the support, but also the help and the support starts at home. You said, thank you one way. Why does this school even exist? Cut the funding, shut the school down, rezone, and place the kids at a different school. But here's the problem. They're going to be way behind. It's almost like, dang, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Because if you put them at a different school, even if it's a Black school, and those kids are testing off the charts, there's still going to be there's going to be a learning curve or learning deficit. There's still going to be ignorant compared. It's not just Black versus white. Even if they go to Black schools where the students are doing well, they're going to be ignorant. So what do? We have a huge problem. We have a huge problem. You said them teachers should be ashamed of themselves. I mean, can you force a student to learn? That means his proficiency level. It didn't start in high school. Remember, there's elementary, middle school, junior high, all of that. His proficiency level, 0.53 GPA, 2.5 credits out of 4 years, failed every class. Are you saying they should be ashamed because they passed him? Soul Sister says, Queen, if the superintendent report the amount of students they have, the more money they get. Woo! 120 students is not a lot. This just may be an alternative school. Looking at the numbers, I don't think they have night school anymore. I know they used to back in the day. Is it worth it? If the boy is not at the proficiency level he should be at, can he even operate at night school? Or should he go back to 6th, 7th grade level? That's what I'm asking. You said, what type of school is that? I think it's an alternative school. Only 120 kids, 52 of them, scored lower than him? Yeah. Anitra said, so what's up with the other kids under him? They're failing too. You said the parents are failing them and the school don't give a damn, but the parents should be catching this stuff. This may be one of them situations where you try to correct somebody's kids, you're going to get your ass toe up. You already know what time it is. Well, hey, now they go up there and beat up the teachers. They go up there and beat up the teachers for not passing the kids. That's why I said you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Oh, that's what it is. Thank you. Charter school. It's probably a charter school. You said the 100. Oh, just maybe the senior class. I got you. Okay, that makes sense. Well, I feel bad for the boy. His mom started off the video. They failed him. They failed him. They failed him. She transferred all of the responsibility to the school. I beg to differ, ma'am. I think it always starts at home. Those are your kids, not theirs. It starts with you, ensuring that his homework is done, ensuring that you are on top of him. He had 250 instances of being late, 272 instances of being late and or absent from school. That's a lot. He ain't even plugged in. And you said you had no idea. That's it. That's all. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Have a wonderful Monday.